Hi there. So Perplexity team just announced that they have integrated the Indian market data, and I decided to explore it, and I landed on my Perplexity Pro, which has been free for a lot of Indian consumers, primarily who are Airtel telecom company subscribers. Now this is available for Indian markets. As you land on the screen, Perplexity Finance, and if you are looking at purely as how to get there, if you just click on this, you'll see finance as one of the verticals. You click over here and you'll be able to see Indian markets as one of the drop downs, and US markets is also there, but by default, because I am logged in from an Indian domain, it is taking me into Indian markets this thing, and it gives a nice good summary. Now obviously when you are trying to access these things on a daily basis, you want to figure out which stock to invest or trade from a short term perspective, and one of the ways to look at it is that you identify, okay, which stocks got at a crossover of 200-day EMA. Let us say I want to figure out this, and they are good in volumes, and let me also add to it that I bring in only companies which have had good quarterly results. So let us say this is what I would like to know. Now assuming that Perplexity has access to all the market data, which also includes the transcripts submitted to the SEBI as well as the 200-day EMA, the trading and the price action as well as the volumes, it should be able to give me a list. So I'm trying to check that, and let's see what this prompt gets me out there. So it creates a plan and then it starts pulling out data, and what it is trying to say is that yes, here are the stocks that you might be interested in. It gives a good set of stocks, and now if I really look at it, the one is NLC, and yes, it is about 200-day EMA. The volume is pretty good. That's what it indicates. And what I'm not very convinced about is that, okay, yeah, they are good quarterly results other than Muthoot Finance and Max Healthcare. Rest it hasn't given the detail, and we really don't know what this high volume looks like. So I would try to get it more precise and then indicate that give me from the list provided. Can you give me the stock with volumes above 30% its average and stock crossover 2% of its 200-day EMA. Let's say this is what it is. Also bring in specifics of the net profit in the quarterly results. So I'll just make it specific that from the results provided above, can you give me the stock with volumes above 30% its average and stock crossover is not more than 2% in 200-day EMA. Bring in specifics of net profit sales reported in the quarterly results so that decision making is easier. Now so there you go. And I don't know if it works with the dataset that is already there. Yes, it does, and it is trying to get in that information. Now it is bringing in that piece of information that NLC is the one. This is what NLC is indicating. Now it only brought in NLC information indicating that, which means that the threshold of 30% is too much. So let me change the threshold. Let me put the threshold as let us change the threshold for the list to 20% of average volume. Does it give more from our initial list? So let us say if we get more of them, but yeah, it did get the information for NLC, and NLC is indicating that yes, the price movement is fairly close to its 200-day EMA. It's just less than 2%. The average volume is pretty good. And the net profits have moved to 2,713 CR, and sales is, so it is not really indicating how much is the growth in percentage. So yes, it is trying to indicate that yes, TBO, Stock Tech is there, Patanjali is there, Biocon is there. So now it has generated the table like this, which is good in a way, like as you keep changing your parameters and you can keep playing around with it, and it has got, the good thing is that it has got both the technical data and the fundamentals at one single place. Identify your query in a very natural language, put it to Perplexity, and because it has got access to all the data, it will be able to give you a table, and then you can layer your research further to figure out which ones you want to invest. So let's say I am keen to actually go ahead and see if NLC works for me. So let's say NLC is coming out fairly close. Can you provide me with fundamental and technical indicators for NLC India? I want to decide if it is a good bet for swing trades. Let me see what it has to say about it. Now this is a very high level kind of a prompt, but now it goes to the next level, tries to get you information that yes, net profit has gone up by 48.1%, revenue is up by 13.1%, EPS is pretty good, profit growth is also looking at CAGR, maintains also. It looks like a perfect company for, and the trend trading about short term and long term moving averages, that's pretty good, indicating bullish momentum but not overbought. So all the things are good about NLC India. And I don't know much about this company. The only thing that we know about is the fact that yes, it is trading about its 200-day EMA, the volumes are good. Now also the results are looking good, but let me just try and understand what is their business and how is it within its peer group against fundamental indicators. So at a very high level, that's how you do. You have checked the technical indicators, you checked how the quarterly results were, that's looking good. Now you're trying to figure out what the peer basket looks like, and then you want to go investigate. So it's slightly the other way around, but because you have all the access to the information, you can do that. Against different competes, how is it? So it's 12.3 against 13.9. The net margin percentages also are looking pretty good. Other than Power Grid, which is in a slightly different space probably. So what NLC is a government-owned enterprise specializing in lignite coal mining, thermal and renewable power generation and power trading. So power trading is also one of the key things, operates multiple open cast ignite mill. So you can get all the information that is needed. So if I have one more last question on what is the dividend for NLC over the last few years, let's see what it is. So it's indicating 3 rupees, 3.5, and if the current price, depending upon the current price that it is trading at, it would be at 1.2 to 1.6 over these periods based on prevailing market price. So that's a good way to investigate a company and then decide whether you want to go further, investigate further if you wish to do it, or make your decision to start dipping in and then further analyze and figure out if you want to build a portfolio position around it. But now with all this access to the data, Perplexity is a great tool for Indian investor and trader. I'll see you in the next one, and this link would be available. You can further build on it. Bye for now.